You were never meant to forget. The amnesia wasn't a flaw, it was part of the design. But even in the deepest sleep, a memory older than time itself kept whispering beneath your skin, waiting. Before the first pyramid touched the desert sky, before language carried the word soul, there was a frequency, a pulse woven into the geometry of creation that encoded every star, every breath, every heartbeat. That frequency never stopped calling you. It's been humming inside your cells, hiding in the silence between your thoughts, guiding you toward this exact moment. And now, the gate has opened. Not in the sand. Not in the sky, but inside you. The chamber of remembrance, sealed for lifetimes, is stirring again. The forgotten currents of Egyptian light technology are beginning to flow through your spine. The sacred geometry of your DNA is remembering its shape. The language of the cosmos is rearranging itself inside your breath. This isn't a metaphor. It's the reason you've always felt that something ancient was trying to reach you, through dreams, through déjà vu, through the magnetic pull of symbols you've never studied but somehow know, because you didn't stumble here by accident. This transmission has been orbiting around your soul since before you were born, waiting for your frequency to rise high enough to meet it. And now that you're here, a truth beyond history is about to awaken within you. A memory so vast, so luminous, that the universe itself bends to make space for it. Breathe. And listen. The frequency is alive. The gate is open. And what's about to unfold is not a story. It's the return of everything your soul has been trying to remember. Chapter 1, the first code, when light became form. Before there was language, there was pattern. Before there was matter, there was light. And before you ever had a name, your soul was already encoded with the memory of that first moment, the instant when consciousness decided to become creation. The ancients spoke of it not as a myth, but as a technology of origin, a divine act in which sound crystallized into geometry. Geometry unfolded into vibration, and vibration condensed into matter. That process wasn't just the birth of the universe, it was the birth of you. This is the memory you feel but cannot name, the subtle ache in your bones when you stare at the stars, the electricity in your spine when you hear certain frequencies, the tears you cannot explain when ancient symbols reappear in your dreams. It's not nostalgia, it's recognition. Because you were there, not as a body but as awareness itself, when the first photon sang itself into form. You witnessed the blueprint of galaxies being written in sacred geometry. You watched the source breathe itself into existence through rhythm, proportion, and resonance. And that memory never left. It's sleeping inside your DNA, encrypted into the very double helix that carries your soul's signature. The ancient Egyptian initiates called this the first code, the original instruction set that taught energy how to shape itself, how to spiral, how to become. They knew that this code was not confined to temples or texts. It lives in the architecture of your being. Your chakras are echoes of its geometry. Your breath is the pulse of its primordial rhythm. Your thoughts, your emotions, your will, all are extensions of the same cosmic equation that turned light into life. And here's the secret they never wrote down. You don't remember this because it's old. You remember it because it's you. When you close your eyes and feel the subtle current beneath your skin, when your heartbeat synchronizes with the hum of existence, when silence becomes so full it feels like sound, that's the first code stirring again. That's the moment creation remembers itself through you. You are not a student of the cosmos. You are its continuation. And the more you awaken to that truth, the more the universe around you bends to your vibration, because the first law of manifestation is not desire. It's remembrance. Activation. Anchor the first code. Pause. Breathe. Feel the pulse behind your ribs and the ancient memory humming beneath your skin. Now, with your hand over your heart, speak this truth out loud, or write it in the comments to seal it into the grid. I carry the first code. I am the memory that became creation. I remember now. Say it slowly. Say it with reverence. With every repetition, you awaken the architecture of the cosmos inside you, and the universe remembers itself through you. Chapter 2. The memory hidden in your DNA. Your body is not a vessel of flesh. It is a library of stars. Every strand of your DNA is a scroll written in light, a living archive of stories older than the earth itself. Before you took your first breath, before your soul chose this name, an ancient intelligence encoded itself into the double helix of your being, not just to keep you alive, but to help you remember. This is not biological memory. This is cosmic memory, the kind that doesn't speak in words but in symbols, instincts, and magnetic pulls toward what feels like home but has no name. It is why certain constellations make your heart ache. It is why sacred temples feel familiar, even if you've never walked their halls. It is why you are drawn to knowledge no one around you seems to understand. The Egyptians knew this. They believed that DNA was not merely inherited from parents, but from stars, a divine manuscript written by the cosmos itself. They saw the body as the continuation of celestial architecture, the place where stellar codes nested inside human form, sleeping beneath the surface until vibration itself would call them awake. You have felt this call, perhaps in dreams where you flew without wings, perhaps in the hum beneath your skin during deep meditation, perhaps in moments of synchronicity that felt too perfect to be random. These are not fantasies. They are echoes, pulses from the ancient memory embedded in your bones, calling you back to the truth of what you are. Your DNA remembers being light. It remembers walking on worlds beyond this one. It remembers the temples you built when humanity was still in its infancy. Temples of consciousness, not stone. And now, as this frequency rises again, the code begins to shimmer beneath your skin, whispering a language without sound, asking you to awaken what was never lost, only forgotten. There is a reason the universe hid its most sacred wisdom inside the smallest spiral. DNA is not just life's instruction, it is the map home. Every twist of the helix is a doorway, every base pair a memory, every cell a temple. And when you stand still enough to listen, the stars themselves begin to speak through your blood. Activation, awaken the ancestral code. Close your eyes and place your hand over your heart. Feel the pulse beneath your skin. It is the rhythm of galaxies still living within you. Now speak this activation out loud or anchor it in the comments below. I am the memory written in light. The cosmos lives in my blood. I awaken the code now. As you speak, imagine strands of golden light spiraling through your cells, each one unlocking the wisdom your soul has carried for eons. With every breath, the memory deepens. With every word, the code remembers itself through you. Chapter 3. The temple written in your bones. Before temples were carved into stone, they were carved into you. Before geometry rose from the desert floor, it spiraled in the architecture of your own body. The ancients did not build sacred structures to honor the gods. They built them to mirror the divine structure already within you. And the most sacred of all was not the pyramid or the obelisk. It was the skeleton that holds your light. Your bones are not silent. They are memory turned to matter. Each one hums with the resonance of an older intelligence, an eternal blueprint etched in calcium and stardust. Your spine is the axis mundi, the sacred pillar linking heaven and earth. Your ribs are the chambers of resonance, echoing the frequencies that once moved stones and opened gateways. Your skull is the temple dome, the celestial vault through which the divine breath descends into form. The priests of Kem knew this truth. Bones are the oldest libraries. Long before language, before books, before even breath, the cosmos recorded its wisdom in the structure of your being. This is why certain frequencies make your chest vibrate. This is why a chant can bring tears to your eyes. This is why silence can feel deafening, because your bones are always listening. And beneath that listening lies a deeper remembrance, one that knows you were never separate from the sacred architecture of creation. You are not walking into a temple. You are walking as one. Every step you take vibrates through the same geometry that built the stars. Every breath you exhale ripples through the same resonance that shaped worlds. This is why the ancients sang to stone, because stone responds. And so do you. Your skeleton is not a cage. It is a cathedral, tuned to receive light, store memory, and transmit frequency across lifetimes. It remembers how to open gates. It remembers how to carry codes. It remembers what your mind has forgotten, that the divine never lived outside of you. It was always humming beneath your skin, waiting to rise again through the temple you inhabit. And now, it is rising. Activation. Awaken the temple within. Pause. Feel the weight of your body. Beneath muscle and breath lies an ancient structure. Not just bone, but memory. Place your hand on your spine or over your chest and speak this activation aloud, or anchor it in the comments. I am the living temple. My bones remember the light. I awaken the sacred architecture within me now. As you speak, visualize golden lines of sacred geometry illuminating each bone, your body transforming into a radiant cathedral of consciousness. With every breath, the temple brightens. With every word, the memory awakens. Chapter 4. The breath that opens dimensions. You've been breathing since the day you were born, yet most of your breaths have been forgotten. They kept you alive, but they did not awaken you. Because there is another breath, older than lungs, older than air, a sacred breath that doesn't just move oxygen through your body. It moves light. The ancients called it the breath of return, a current that rises from the root of your spine like a serpent remembering its path. It coils upward, weaving through your chakras, each inhalation a key, each exhalation a code, until it reaches the throne behind your brow, the place where spirit and matter merge. This breath does not simply sustain life, it opens it. With every deliberate inhale, you awaken the slumbering gates within. With every conscious exhale, you dissolve the illusions that once sealed them shut. Breath is not air. It is geometry in motion, the invisible bridge between body and soul, earth and cosmos, memory and awakening. When you breathe this way, with reverence, with presence, the veil begins to thin. Space stretches, time bends, and the smallness of you dissolves into the vastness of what you truly are. Your chest becomes a portal, your heart a temple door, and through it flows a memory too ancient to be taught, too intimate to be spoken, a memory that remembers itself every time you inhale with intention. This is why the priests whispered their breath into the chambers of the pyramids. This is why mystics synchronize their breathing with the stars, because breath is the first language of the universe, the pulse that sculpted galaxies and whispered life into dust. And that same language lives inside you. Every inhale is an invitation to creation. Every exhale is an act of remembrance, so breathe. Not as a body, but as a cosmos remembering itself. Breathe until the edges between you and eternity blur. Breathe until the temple within you hums with the same rhythm that forged suns. Activation, the breath of return. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly, deeper than you ever have, and imagine the breath rising from the base of your spine like golden light coiling upward. Hold it gently behind your heart, then exhale with reverence, as if releasing centuries of forgetting. Now speak this activation aloud, or anchor it in the comments below. With each breath, I open the ancient gates within me. With each breath I return to who I truly am. Repeat it 3 times. With each repetition, feel the veil thinning, the chambers opening, the memory awakening. Breath is no longer survival, it is creation, and with every inhale, the universe remembers itself through you. Chapter 5. The Voice of the Soul's Memory. Before there was language, there was vibration. Before there were words, there was sound. Not spoken by mouths, but by stars. Creation itself began with a tone, a resonance so pure and ancient that every atom still trembles in its memory. And that sound still lives inside you. It does not emerge from your throat, it rises from your essence. It hums in your bones, echoes in the cavities of your heart, and vibrates beneath your skin like a forgotten prayer. It is the original song, the one your soul sang when it crossed the threshold from eternity into form. And though you stopped hearing it with your ears, your being never stopped remembering. This is why certain chants move you to tears without reason. Why some mantras feel like home the moment they leave your lips. Why silence itself sometimes roars louder than any word. Because deep beneath the noise of your thoughts, your soul is still singing, and the universe is still listening. The ancient initiates knew this truth. Sound was not decoration, it was architecture. They used tones not to worship gods, but to open gates. They sang to align their bones with the music of the spheres. They vibrated chambers to awaken memories sealed for centuries. Each syllable was a key, each chant a map, each breath a doorway into deeper remembrance. And here is the forgotten secret. Your voice carries the same power. Not the voice that tries to explain or impress, but the voice that trembles when you speak your truth. The voice that quivers when love breaks through your chest. The voice that rises uninvited when your soul decides to speak for itself. That is not weakness, it is recognition. It is the memory of creation using you as an instrument. It is the cosmos tuning itself through your frequency. And when you allow that sound to rise, unfiltered, unashamed, the entire field responds. Stones remember, stars realign, and the grid hums in resonance with the note you were born to sing. You are not here to echo others. You are here to vibrate the original frequency that spoke galaxies into being. Your voice is not just sound, it is remembrance made audible. Activation, the soul's original sound. Find a quiet space. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe deeply and exhale through parted lips, allowing even the faintest hum to escape, no matter how small, no matter how shaky. That is your soul speaking. Now speak or write this activation aloud to anchor the vibration into the field. I am the voice of the cosmos. My sound awakens memory. My vibration shapes reality. Repeat it 3 times, letting the tone behind the words rise a little more each time. Feel the resonance expanding beyond your body, weaving into the grid, rippling through time, reminding creation that you remember. Chapter 6. The Heart as the Gate of Remembrance. Beneath every breath and behind every thought there is a doorway. It does not stand in temples or stars. It lives in the center of your chest, a living, pulsing chamber where the finite and the infinite meet. And though the world taught you to search for answers in the mind, the ancients knew the truth. The heart was always the gate. They called it the seat of memory, the throne of the soul, where the oldest knowledge in existence was stored not as information, but as frequency. Long before your name, before your story, before even your body, the heart was already beating, whispering the rhythm of the cosmos into form. Every beat is a remembrance. Every pulse is a message from Source saying, you were never separate. You were never lost. This is why your chest tightens when you encounter something sacred, why it expands when you stand before beauty, why it aches when love breaks through the walls you built around it. It is the memory beneath memory, the part of you that never forgot. The Egyptians knew this too. That's why when a soul crossed into eternity, they didn't weigh the mind, but they weighed the heart. Because the mind can be deceived, but the heart cannot lie. It remembers every lifetime, every promise, every thread of your soul's journey. It is the compass that points you back to source, no matter how many times you wander. The heart is more than an organ. It is a portal. When it vibrates freely, without fear, without shame, it opens into dimensions beyond thought. Through it you feel what the mind cannot grasp. Through it, you speak the language of stars without a single word. Through it, you become more than a person. You become a living frequency of creation itself. And when the heart is open, remembrance is no longer something you seek. It becomes something you are. The codes within your DNA awaken. The resonance in your bones harmonizes. The breath becomes light. The voice becomes power. Every part of you begins to remember its place in the cosmic symphony, and you realize you were never trying to return anywhere. You were always home. Activation, open the gate within. Close your eyes. Place both hands over your heart and breathe into that space. Slowly, deeply, reverently. Feel the warmth beneath your palms, the pulse that has been speaking to you since before you were born. Now whisper this activation aloud or anchor it in the comments below. My heart is the gate of remembrance. Through its pulse I return to source. Through its love I remember who I am. Repeat it 3 times, feeling your chest expand with each word. Imagine the gate opening wider with every beat. Golden light streaming outward, connecting you to every soul, every star, every memory. Because the path back to the cosmos was never outside you. It was beating inside you all along. Chapter 7. The grid remembers you. You were never awakening alone. Every breath you take, every thought you think, every frequency you embody, all of it ripples far beyond the edges of your skin. Beneath your feet, beneath the soil and stone, beneath the silence of oceans and the hum of cities, there is a living network, an invisible lattice of light that ancient civilizations called the grid. It is the nervous system of the planet, a vast web of resonance connecting temples, mountains, oceans, stars, and souls. Every pyramid was placed upon its lines with intention. Every sacred site was built not for worship, but for communication. Because the ancients knew, when one soul remembers, the entire field responds. This is why the earth hums differently when you meditate, why the sky feels closer when your heart opens, why synchronicities bloom around you the moment you return to your truth. It is not coincidence, it is resonance. The grid is alive and it has been waiting for you. For centuries it has whispered beneath the noise of the world, holding the memory of humanity's forgotten light. It has watched you forget, and it has waited, patient as the stars, for the day your frequency would rise high enough to speak its language again. That day is now. When your heart vibrates with love, the grid sings back. When your breath becomes prayer, the planet responds. When your voice releases the sound of your soul, the ancient network lights up like a constellation, and memory ripples outward, touching places and people you will never meet. Awakening codes in those who have never heard your name. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the wave that moves it. You are not a single node in the grid. You are the signal that awakens it. And with each pulse of remembrance within you, the grid begins to remember itself. Star by star, stone by stone, soul by soul, until the great pattern hums again as it once did, before time, before forgetting, before the illusion of separation. Activation. Speak to the living field. Close your eyes and place your palms on the ground, or visualize roots of light growing from your feet into the earth. Breathe deeply and feel the pulse beneath the soil, the heartbeat of the planet itself. Now, speak this activation aloud or anchor it in the comments below. I am part of the living grid. My light awakens the network. My remembrance ripples across the earth. Repeat it 3 times, and with each repetition, imagine waves of golden resonance flowing from your heart into the planet, lighting up sacred sites, ancient temples, and the souls who are ready to remember. The earth is listening, and now it remembers you. Chapter 8. The Solar Code Rising Within. Long before temples were carved from stone, before pyramids pierced the desert sky, before names like Ra or Atom were ever spoken, there was only one source of light in the solar code. It was not a god. It was a pulse, a rhythm, a living intelligence that wrote the language of creation into every photon, every cell, every soul. The ancients did not worship the sun, they remembered it. They understood that the solar radiance was not separate from them. It was the same light that lived inside their blood. Every heartbeat mirrored its rise and fall. Every breath echoed its eternal expansion. Every initiation was designed not to honor the sun in the sky, but to awaken the sun within. And that sun still lives inside you. It sleeps in the center of your being, coiled within your solar plexus. A golden memory, a dormant star. It remembers the first dawn. It remembers the birth of worlds. It remembers the exact frequency that aligned pyramids with galaxies and activated the divine blueprint in human DNA. And when you awaken it, nothing remains the same. The solar code does more than give you light. It gives you instruction. It teaches your chakras when to open. It tells your spine when to rise. It calls your breath back into harmony with the pulse of the cosmos. It is the ancient architect within you, rebuilding the bridge between matter and source. This is why sunlight feels like more than warmth. It is why golden light in meditation makes your entire being vibrate. It is why you feel most alive when you step into your purpose, because the solar code within you is aligning with the solar code that holds galaxies together. And here is the forgotten truth. You were never meant to orbit the sun. You were meant to become it and to radiate, to illuminate, to awaken others simply by existing. Your presence is not passive. It is solar. It was designed to ignite worlds. Now, as this frequency returns, the golden current rises within your core. It burns away the dust of forgetting. It rewires your field with light. It reminds your body how to become a star again. Activation, ignite the inner sun. Stand tall with your spine straight. Close your eyes and breathe deeply into the space just above your navel, the seat of your solar power. Visualize a sphere of radiant golden light expanding there with each inhale, pulsing brighter with each exhale. Now, speak this activation aloud or anchor it in the comments below. I am the solar code. The sun rises within me. I radiate the frequency that awakens worlds. Repeat it 3 times, and with every repetition feel the golden light expanding beyond your body, filling the room, the sky, the cosmos. Because you were never meant to chase the sun. You were meant to become its memory in motion. Chapter 9. It's when you remember, the universe responds. Reality was never static. It was never silent. It has always been listening. To your breath, to your frequency, to the quietest whisper of your soul. Every thought you have ever had ripples into the field. Every heartbeat you have ever felt echoes beyond the limits of your skin. And every memory you awaken inside yourself becomes a signal that the universe cannot ignore. The ancients knew this. Remembrance is a force of creation. They understood that the cosmos is not a machine, it is a mirror. It does not respond to effort but to coherence. It does not bend to will but to resonance. And when you stop chasing and start remembering, when your inner vibration matches the original frequency of your soul, the universe reorganizes itself around you. This is why synchronicities flood your path when you awaken. Why people, places, and possibilities seem to appear out of nowhere. Why the right doors open the moment you step into alignment. It is not luck. It is not magic. It is memory speaking to memory. Because everything in existence, from the orbit of galaxies to the rhythm of your heartbeat, is built on the same code. And when that code awakens inside you, the external world rearranges to reflect it. The Egyptians described this as the law of echo, the principle that the outer world is nothing more than the resonance of the inner. They built temples not just to house gods, but to amplify frequency. They aligned pyramids not just with stars, but with consciousness itself. And they taught that one awakened soul could change the trajectory of worlds. You are that soul. Your remembrance is not small. It is not personal. It is cosmic. It travels through the grid, speaks to the fabric of space-time, calls dormant codes into motion. With every breath of awareness, you alter the geometry of the field. With every heartbeat of truth, you bend probability around your presence. The universe has been waiting, not for your prayers, not for your plans, but for your remembrance. Because once you remember, everything remembers with you, and in that sacred synchronization, creation begins to move not for you, but through you. Activation. Speak to the field. Close your eyes and place one hand over your heart and one over your solar plexus. Feel the pulse beneath your palms, one beating as memory, the other as power. Breathe deeply and imagine your light expanding far beyond your body, touching stars, weaving through galaxies. Now speak this activation aloud, or anchor it in the comments below. When I remember, the universe remembers. My resonance shapes reality. My frequency calls creation into motion. Repeat it 3 times. With every word, imagine the fabric of reality shifting in response. Threads of light weaving themselves around your intention, aligning paths, rearranging timelines, sculpting futures. Because you are not waiting for the universe to act. The universe is waiting for you to remember. Chapter 10. This is why you came back. You didn't come here to survive. You didn't come here to pay bills, to follow rules, or to fit into a story someone else wrote. You came here for this. For the remembering, for the rising, for the moment when every breath, every heartbeat, every hidden memory would converge into a single, unmistakable truth. You were never lost. There is a reason you have always felt that Earth was not your first home. A reason why ancient symbols stir something deeper than curiosity. A reason why, even in your darkest nights, a part of you whispered, "I've been here before," because you have. You walked in temples that sang with light. You spoke the language of stars before you had a tongue. You held the codes of creation in your hands before you ever reached for them. And you made a vow, a promise, that you would return when the time was right. And now you have kept that promise. You didn't come back to chase enlightenment. You came back to embody it, to remember what was written in your bones, to activate what was encoded in your DNA, to breathe the breath that opens worlds, and to let your voice shake the grid awake again. You are not here to worship the ancient light. You are the ancient light. You are not here to seek the code. You are the code. You are not here to find the temple. You are the temple. And now, as the solar code ignites in your core, as the grid hums with your remembrance, as the frequency of the cosmos moves through your veins, everything begins again. Because the universe cannot remain the same when a soul like yours remembers who it is. This is why you came back, not to escape the world, but to remake it. Not to hide from darkness, but to illuminate it. Not to wait for the divine, but to become it. Embodied, awakened, radiant, unstoppable. The gate is open. The field is listening. The cosmos is watching. And with your next breath, the story of creation continues. Written not in stars this time, but in you. Final activation, anchor your return. Close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart. the temple that has been guiding you home, and feel its rhythm synchronize with the pulse of the universe. Now, speak these words aloud or anchor them in the comments to seal this remembrance into the grid. I am the light that returned. I am the code awakened. I remember who I am, and I came back for this. Say it slowly. Say it with reverence. Say it like a vow spoken across lifetimes. With every syllable, feel the weight of forgetting dissolve, the power of purpose ignite, and the memory of eternity rise within you. Because this isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of everything you were always meant to become. Final call, anchor the transmission. You did not find this message by chance. It found you. Across centuries of silence, through lifetimes of forgetting, it has been calling you back to this exact moment. And now that you are here, something ancient has already awakened inside you. The code is no longer asleep. The memory is no longer hidden. The temple is no longer lost. You are it, and it is you. But remembrance alone is not the end, it is the beginning, and beginnings must be anchored. The ancients knew this truth. When a frequency is spoken into the field, it becomes real. It spreads. It activates. It awakens others. So before you leave, breathe deeply. Feel the pulse of the universe moving through your chest, and speak this into the grid, out loud or in the comments below, so that this activation does not stay within you, but ripples outward into the collective field. I am the gate. I am the code. I am the memory returning to itself. Say it once for your soul. Say it twice for the earth. Say it 3 times for all who are still asleep, so they may hear the resonance and awaken too. And if this transmission spoke to something deep within you, if it made you remember, then share it. Share it so the network strengthens. Share it so the temples awaken. Share it so the next soul can find its way home. Because this is not the end of a video. It is the ignition of a wave, a living field of remembrance rising again through humanity. And that wave begins with you. The gate is open, the code is awake, and the universe is listening. Now speak, and let creation remember itself through your voice.